Hello everyone and welcome to the Transit Nomad family. In this video, we're going to be exploring London's metro, also known as subway, also known as the tube, also known as the underground. Before we get started, I'd like to let you know that I'm in London for a couple of weeks, and at the end of this trip, I'll be recording my final verdict video, comparing London with other cities to help you decide if you should visit, while also saving you lots of time and money with practical tips on how to get the most out of your trip. This will be an exclusive video, but you can easily gain access to it by subscribing or donating any amount on buymeacoffee.com/transitnomad or through the link in the video description below. With that being said, let's begin discussing London's underground. As you can see, they do have some information signs with estimated train arrival times, but unfortunately I have found the signs to be a little bit complicated and not so easy to follow, especially if you're trying to follow Google Maps or Transit or City Mapper or other transit tracking apps. It's not always simple to understand which platform you need to go to, which specific line you need to take.
The next train to Stanmore will arrive in 2 minutes.
Also, the destinations sometimes vary. Even though it's the same line, it might deviate or go to another direction or take another path, and you might end up being in the wrong place, which means it might take longer to reach your destination because you'd have to go back and change again. And as an experienced transit user who's traveled to many different cities around the globe, I've found the London's tube system to be rather complex and not so straightforward. It reminds me a little bit of Tokyo. It's not very easy to navigate rapid transit in Tokyo, and I do find it also a little bit challenging over here, especially if you don't know which platform you need to go to, or sometimes there is a sign that's telling you that either way is correct, and then one sign is pointing downstairs, the other one is pointing upstairs, and you're thinking like, wow, so which way should I go? Or sometimes you just end up going on the wrong path altogether. So we're gonna wait for the next train to arrive. I do not want to film the people next to me, so we'll just take a little walk through the station. A couple more things to keep in mind. One of them is the cost. It is very expensive, generally speaking, although the prices start at as little as $2.80, depending on the zone and the time of your travel and how far you go. It might go up to as much as $15 or $20 or even $25. That's how much I ended up spending the day before yesterday. In one day, I spent $25. Can you imagine? Riding the underground and the overground, which are both kind of integrated into rapid transit system of London. I did travel pretty far away, but still $25 for one day, that's pretty high. The amount you pay also depends on the time of your travel. If it's outside of peak hours, it starts at $2.80. If it's during peak hours, it goes up to $3.60, and once again, that is the starting price for just the city center. If you go outside of the city center, it goes up, and it's not always very straightforward as far as calculating the total cost, but you should not expect it to be cheap in London. If you want to save money, don't come to London. right, now we're gonna start heading towards the exit. Another thing I did want to mention is the air conditioning. It's either weak or it's not working at all. And on a warm day, it can be pretty hot inside the London's tube system. Also the overground system, also the bus system, also basically anywhere, museums, cafes. The air conditioning is not very good in London. That is just something to keep in mind. Now, for the good parts, the frequencies are low. You don't have to wait for the train for too long. It's always just a couple of minutes, sometimes 5 minutes, but nothing really substantial. And this makes the transit system fairly attractive overall, because you know that it's pretty fast to get to where you're going, and you don't need to wait for the train for too long or worry about being stuck at the station waiting for 30 minutes or an hour or something like that, which is sometimes the case in the United States, where the frequencies for public transportation are longer, like bus frequencies in San Diego, where I live. Many routes are 30 minutes. Some routes are 60 minutes, and I don't know anybody who wants to wait for a bus for 60 minutes or 30 minutes. It's just way too long. In London, it only takes a couple of minutes, a few minutes, 5 minutes. In the worst case scenario, maybe 10 minutes. That's it. The trains are narrow-bodied on the tube and a little bit wider on the overground network. They are really integrated, so it's not always easy to tell the difference, which one is which. The trains look kind of similar in some ways. Also, they are different, but if you're not into trains, you might not even tell the difference. Also, the fares, as I mentioned, might be not always so easy to calculate, and it's something to keep in mind. If you are traveling somewhere, you may want to go on their websites to estimate the cost, because it can add up, especially if you are in a large group of people, like you have several family members and you are paying for everybody for several days. It can add up if you go far within the London metropolitan area. It does seem like the overground trains might cost a little more because they go further away. It's kind of like a commuter rail network that's combined together with the tube. It's listed on the same map, and when you look at directions online, it's not always straightforward to be able to tell what is the tube and what is the overground and which train is which. All right, to exit the system, you need to tap your card. Go ahead first. All right, we go this way. You have to tap it when you enter and tap it when you exit, and that is how the fare is calculated, based on distance and time. Overall, if you're visiting London for a few days and you're thinking which transit mode is best, I would recommend sticking to buses because they offer you a much more scenic experience. You get to see the view of the city streets, and it's a lot easier to navigate, to transfer, to understand which bus you need to go and where it goes, which bus you need to take. And it's cheaper too, costing only £1.75 British pounds for a single trip that can last up to 60 minutes, and also offer you the option to transfer for up to 60 minutes from that first tap. Whereas taking the tube is a little bit more expensive and a little bit harder to navigate, and it's not scenic at all because you're underground. And the overground trains, the views so far, I've taken several lines, they're not that attractive in terms of the views. And also you have to stand a lot, it's often crowded, and you have to transfer from one line to another, and then, you know, it's just not something really fun if you compare it to taking one of these cool buses and sitting on the second floor in the front, enjoying the city streets. That's just something to keep in mind. And on this note, I also want to remind you that as an active traveler and business owner with experience, I might be able to assist you with trip planning, life coaching, and business consulting, with all the details available at buymeacoffee.com/transitnomad. This is where you'll also find lots of exclusive content on many different cities across the globe, my helpful PDF guides, secret tips, and the option to request a custom video on any topic that matters to you. Thank you everyone for watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.